we stand up now to welcome Margaret and join me in thanking her for her past service and her willingness to serve us by representing our 7th CB in the United States Congress.
Poor Buffy, she was stuck behind these microphones. I can see what the issue is here. Oofed up. That's what I gotta say tonight. Thank you all for coming out here, and thank you, Krista, for the warm welcome. I really appreciate that. So, why do I say oofed up? I think you would have to have not been able to pay attention to what's going on in this country in this last week, in this last month, in these last 2 years. How many of you have felt compelled to do something different since the elections of 2016? Raise your hand. Look at this. Look at this. That's what it's about. Now, I'm just like you. I'm one of you. In November of 2016, I was recovering from major shoulder surgery that I had done at the VA in Minneapolis. I'm super, super grateful for that. But it also allowed me to take in the results of that election full blast. And probably like many of you hand raisers in this room, something felt different. Something felt off. And the rhetoric that has been tossed around recklessly and the toxins injected into our political discourse probably is pretty repellent to a lot of us. I live in a town of 1,000 people, and right after the election I went to my local bar and grill. It's called Top Spot, and it's a pretty red county. And my friends and neighbors and members of the community and people I've known for years were high-fiving, and they were super happy about the change that was coming. To me, I felt a sense of concern, deep concern. Because, as Krista mentioned in my biography, my whole life, I've always been very hardwired to serve. And it's why I stepped forward at 19 years old and enlisted in the U.S. Navy, because I felt an obligation and a sense of duty to give back to this wonderful country. I felt very fortunate to be from where I was from, and the food I had to eat and the safety I had as I, walked around in life. And I knew that it wasn't for free, and I knew that it depends on all of us, and how we conduct ourselves, and how we manage our affairs, and how we govern this nation, and the code that we all live by. So I chose to serve in the fashion that I did, and there are many ways to serve. Everyone in this room serves, and don't let them tell you any different. I know as a veteran I hear, and I'm grateful for, thank you for your service. Well, thank you. Thank you for teaching. Thank you for working on my vehicle while I'm at work. Thank you for doing what you do. And this is what we need to remember, is that we all rely on one another, and we have to have trust in one another. And something is breaking in this country, but there's something else going on too. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not hopeless. And what we should heed here, and I'm running for the 7th Congressional District. There's 26 counties in this district. It is very, very big. It's a challenging endeavor to travel month after month, mile after mile, and go to events like this and meet and greets and have coffee and do all of these things. It has been very educational about who you are, who I am, who are the people in the state of Wisconsin. And let me tell you, they're good people. And I don't care what party you belong to, what your background is, how much much money you have in your bank account. Most people are good, and we must always remember that. The core of us is good if we stick to our values and we try to live by them. And what we need right now in this country are leaders that reflect that. When I was going through that surgery, I had all that time to think. And I have a degree in history, so I admit I'm one of those kind of people that I cannot keep my nose out of a book. I can't do it. It's hard. So I just read and read and read and read, and I love history, world history, American history. And there's a lot of lessons there. There's a lot of stuff that happened in this country that are shameful. But there's also stories of resilience and hope and strength and unity. And it all comes down to the same basic core of what America is. And I don't care how long you've been here, if you just got here yesterday, or if your family's been here like mine has since the 1600s, it doesn't matter. One is not more valuable than the other. But how we conduct ourselves is what matters. So the reason I stepped forward to run for Congress is because what I identified, excuse me, is one of the core problems in this country that we need to address is our leadership issue. It's in our state assembly, it's in our state senate, it's in the governor's mansion, it is in Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the White House, right? So you grow up learning about how we're a democracy. Now they say we're a republic. Well, we're both, of course. So what are we going to do about it? We the people, a government of, by, and for the people. And for decades, this has been bit by bit, piece by piece, chipped away. And the only way to get that back is the people taking it back. And that is in a representative democracy such as ours, we have every right, in fact, we have the obligation as citizens of this country to put forward people and to elect people into office who are loyal to us. Not some special interest, not some super PAC, not some donor, not some party that will do everything in its power to win, even if it tears the shreds of the soul of America apart just to win and gain power. That's no way to run a country. And we're feeling the effects of that. We're living through the symptoms of allowing our country to get to this state. So where's our trajectory? Some of us, like Buffy, glass half empty. And I get that. I totally get that. I feel like that sometimes. But if we heed the flags, the warning flags in American history, in world history, and we really listen and we're intuitive about each other and about what our needs are, then we can chart a different path. And that's why I'm here. Because I believe in you, I believe in us, and I believe we can do a lot better. And I can't do it alone. There's 435 seats in the House of Representatives. But there's something going on in this country. Don't underestimate it. Don't bank on it, but don't underestimate it either. The 7th Congressional District is an amazing place. It's filled with beauty and wonder, sadness. There's people that are being underutilized. There's people who are losing their farms, their businesses. They're not getting raises. They don't get health care. but we can do something about that. So, I know that we're about, what, how many, 30 days or so? A little over 30 days out from this ever so important election year. And it's what we make it. And I know the noise, excuse me, in Washington, D.C., and what's coming out in the Supreme Court hearings is, for some of us, really overwhelming. And you feel powerless, but you're not powerless. So let me tell you what I've done so far. And this is the only way to go about this. There's no shortcut. It's conversation by conversation with your neighbors, your family members, the people you meet at the local bar and grill. It's your coworkers, if it's okay to do this. It's knocking on doors. It's making phone calls. It's handwriting postcards. It's donating $5 if you can do it. And for me, it's the added thing of driving mile after mile and going to meeting after meeting like this and trying to connect with the people of this district. We can do better, and I would love to have your vote in November, because when I take that oath of office, I'll mean every word. I meant it the first time I took it, back in 90, I guess it was 90 the first time I took it, 91, kept doing it over and over again. And I mean it, I mean every word. And I'll mean it when I become your congresswoman. So hang in there, we can do this together, and if each one of you takes on their slice of the pie that they can take, we will win, and we will take this state back, we will take this country back, and we will make it a place that is best for all of us, regardless of background, regardless of bank account information, regardless of race, regardless of gender, because that's what America is about. Thank you so much. And